Thank you so much for signing up for this webinar to learn about how to run a spiritual business. I'm MJ Renshaw. If you know, I've been running my own business for probably maybe 6 years now, longer, maybe 10. I don't even know. I started out kind of in the yoga world, and then I switched. I started doing a post grad in osteopathy. So then I opened my own practice as a student osteopath, closed that down, and then started the Being Method, which is my dream job. I love it so much. I've gone through many different iterations of how I work and what works for me. And that's what a lot of this webinar is going to be about, because we're all so different. We want to work in different ways. We want different amounts of freedom. We have different values. So I'm a big proponent on letting people know that you can be free to do whatever you want to do. And my business has changed so much with how I change. When I was pregnant, I really wanted to work one-on-one with people a lot. So I worked one-on-one with people a lot, and I loved every moment of it. It didn't feel like work. It felt like deep connection, deep healing with the community. Now that I have a baby, I don't have as much time to work one-on-one. So I shut that down, opened a subscription. And no monetary loss has been had, because I know how to change my offerings and my business so that I'm always supported monetarily, but I'm also offering what I think is really valuable to people. And I love talking about this stuff just because it's so important and can be so freeing. You don't have to work a 9 to 5. That's not the only way. When you think of like, oh, I need to go get a job, or my business has to look like this. There are so many creative ways to run a business and to make a living and to live your authentic life and be true to yourself. We only have one life. So you should design it exactly the way you want to design it. I always say, live your life by design, not by default. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. I've made a really fun slide deck for us, and let's go through it. Okay, so the Being Method, this is my company. I've got several different courses. We'll go through kind of how I structure things a little bit more, but essentially what we want to focus on today is how to run your own spiritual business and what that even means. I think some people think like, oh, do I have to have crystals in my store? Not necessarily, but you can, and I think they're cool. So the Being Method itself, the big course that I run, this is kind of what it does touch on a lot of. It touches on how to start your own business, how to work one-on-one with clients, how to help people heal, how to help yourself heal. Um, a lot of anatomy, a lot of scientific and spiritual knowledge. So personal business consulting with me. So this is just like a kind of mini version of the Being Method. I'm so passionate about people living their truth and their authentic lives. And like I said in the thank you email, I think more people who aren't business minded need to open up businesses, because when we have people opening up businesses and they're doing it, from their heart, we have a completely different world. So let's go through some of the slides. So today we're going to look at what is a spiritual business, kind of share my story a little bit, why combine science and spirituality, different types of spiritual businesses, why alignment matters, and using systems to share your work. So what is alignment? Like, it's just such a random word, like to live in alignment. For me, living in alignment really means living according to your personal values. We all have different values. I think journaling down, like, what are my values, are so important for me. Like, it's always make things fun, be your authentic self, and do things with love and compassion. Like, those are kind of my core values, essentially. And I live them throughout my whole life. It's not just in my home that I live those values or with my friends. It's with anyone I'm in doing business with, anyone in commerce, anybody that I'm collaborating with. I want to show up with love. I want to have fun with them. And I want to, I don't remember what the other one was. It was probably something important. But yeah, but maybe not being so serious. But yeah, I just think that we need to, what are your values? And get clear on them, because when it comes to starting a business, you don't want it to get away on you thinking about like, oh, how do I make more money, or da 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 da, because then you might end up not knowing who you are. And your business might become something so different from who you are. And that's what leads to things like burnout, or what leads to, bad entering into bad relationships with people in business. So getting clear on who you are, what you want to offer, this is alignment. So for me, when I was working a job that I didn't really like and I didn't think I was helping the world much, I wasn't being myself. That was me living out of alignment, and it led to me being burnt out. So out of alignment means you're working a job that drains you, you're not living according to your values, you're not sharing your true gifts that you were given on this world. And I think it's our duty to share our gifts. Every single one of us is unique, and every single one of us has something special to offer. I really truly believe that. No one is just here for a random purpose. Everybody's got a big purpose. Um, Knowing what your gifts are and not feeling empowered. So if you wake up every morning and you go to your job and you don't feel empowered, make a change. You can make a change. Anyone can make a change. Sometimes it takes a little bit of shuffling, but anybody can make a change. So when you're living in alignment, it means work no longer feels like work. You could do it for hours and you would just enjoy it. We live according to our values. You are your authentic self. You know your gifts and you share them, and you're in your worth and you feel empowered. So, as you can see, different people will feel differently in different jobs, different careers, with different businesses. We're all so unique. So, this is what's beautiful about being in alignment, is just being true to you, right? Being true to who you are and letting that reflect out into your business. Anyone who has a successful business knows that if you're the founder, you're the core of it, and how you feel about yourself will be reflected out into the business. So, what is a spiritual business? Kind of a weird thing. So, businesses are typically run all left brain systems and spreadsheets. We think of the typical business person, they're looking at how to maximize, how to grow, you know, people, love, things like that, connection kind of get lost in the typical classical way of running a business. A spiritual business incorporates you into your business. So, what are your values? And those are reflected into the business and in every business decision. So, it means if you're making a business decision where some people might not feel loved and might not feel cared for, and there might be an injustice in the business decision for more money, you wouldn't make that decision, because I would rather lose profits and make the world a better place than lose my values, because having your values and living by them is one of the best feelings in the world, I will say. And it all depends on what your values are. And it's also running your business by having a good valuing your intuition. If your intuition says no about something, you won't do it. So it doesn't have to do with anything like any sort of spiritual practice or religion or certain spirituality. It can be if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to do with that stuff. It just means acknowledging intuition and valuing it, using the right side of your brain to structure your career and your business. It kind of means like trusting the vibes in the business world. Here's a little bit of my story. So essentially, I was burnt out working a job, very intense job. I was doing it for other people. I wanted my mom, my then boyfriend, now husband, to be proud of me because I had this big girl job and I was doing all these things, and I was burnt out. Like my hair was falling out. I didn't have a period. My gut was a mess. Like every single message I was getting for the universe was like, do not do this. Even going to my school, my car broke down like 4 times. And I kept being like, I know this is a sign, but I'm just going to keep going because I've already paid this much in tuition. Like, I have to finish this. I was pushing, pushing, pushing. And I knew the universe was telling me to stop. So finally, I stopped. Unfortunately, I was very sick at the time because I waited so long, but I took time to heal. I started my own business. And I was like, what do I want in life? Because I know I have the power to design anything I want. So I was listening to a lot of Tony Robbins at the time. I was fired up. So I really designed my life meticulously. So I said, okay, soon I want to have children. I don't want to leave my kids to work all the time. My mom did that as a single mom. I know it was hard on her to leave us all the time. It was hard on us to not be with her all the time. So I was like, okay, I know I want to have kids. So I want to have a flexible schedule so I can be with them. But at the same time, I know I have a lot to offer the world outside of just raising children, not just raising children. It's obviously the most important job that you can have. But I know I have other things that I want to bring to this planet. I love sharing, I love teaching. I've learned so much in my life. So I was like, I want to have my dream career. I want to be at home with my kids. I want to have everything. Um, and I think if you're a woman growing up, you might hear that you can't have everything or that you have to choose between all these things. I'm here to say you do not. I currently, right now, am pretty much a full time stay at home mom. I hire a nanny for a couple hours in the mornings of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I can work. And that's it. That's all I do. The rest of the time is play. I play all day. Um, so I started the Being Method to offer people the knowledge and tools of how to do this themselves, like design their own life. And, obviously I work in the health world. I studied anatomy and physiology. I studied business a little bit. So I wanted people who were spiritual to be like, okay, this is how you learn how to do this. And here's all the knowledge that you need to work one-on-one with people and change their lives. So as I said today, I only work 2 or 3 days a week, only for a few hours. Like I don't like to work longer than 2, 3 hours a day. And most of my income currently to this day is passive income. Like I said, when I was pregnant, I switched over to almost all passive income. So it's subscriptions that people are subscribing to, or the course that I run that's already built. So when people enter the course is already built. I just have to show up for the Zoom meetings, and that's twice a month. Twice a month, I show up to meetings and I make a good career. I make good money. I feel really supported, happy. I have a ton of freedom. I never, ever, ever have to miss family time if I don't want to. I don't feel stressed out. It's just drastically different than how I was trying to fit myself into a life before. Now I've just designed my own life. It's true to my values. I feel really good. Um, and anyone can have this. Anyone can do this. Honestly, I am not a particularly intelligent person. Um, I just got the books, I did the readings, I developed the Being Method. That's it. That's all I did. So, non spiritual business, kind of where the goal is to make as much money as possible. Money's not bad, but you don't want to sacrifice your values for it. You can do both. You can make money and you can have your values. That's what I'm doing right now. So you're sacrificing things like your health, your family, your friends for money. Money's kind of like the pinnacle of it. And it's coming from a place of like you want power, you're a consumer, just not great things, right? Like we're not sticking true to our values. And yeah, you might not be prioritizing things like the environment or being kind, caring for others and caring for yourself. The classic non-spiritual business leader is someone who feels sick, but they're working. They're not taking the time to rest. They're not looking after themselves. A spiritual business leader is someone who values money too, but they're not going to sacrifice their values for it so that they can have both. They can have a good income and they can feel really confident and good about what they're doing, what they're bringing into the world. And there's someone who takes care of their health and well being. You don't have to be like healthy to do it, but you're someone who cares about yourself because you know when you're in a good place, your business is going to be in a good place too. So you care about yourself, right? Like this is something that's so important in life that you're not sacrificing your life for anything. Like we may only have one, right? So you want to live your life. You don't want to wait until you're 65 and retire. Like you want to be able to go and have a little bit of freedom now and enjoy things and be with your family. It's so important. Um, I also want to say any kind of business can be spiritual. You don't have to go through the Being Method and become, an energy healer, learn about mitochondria, learn about structured water, learn how light photons affect us. You don't have to learn all that stuff. You can be a homemaker, a hairdresser. You can be someone who runs a hedge fund. Any of these people can learn how to use their intuition and run their business in that way. It is so helpful to access your intuition with your business. I promise you, you will immediately know, maybe even according to your human design, you could run through how you make decisions, but you will be able to know the truth of what decision you need to make and why. And if you're making something from a lack mentality or an abundance mentality, it's just working from your heart, being in alignment, feeling good, designing your business and your life the way you want to. The things that bring us the greatest joy are in alignment with your purpose. So your purpose is actually a lot like your values. Your purpose isn't like, I'm going to invent something. Your purpose or have a certain career. Your purpose is what you're going to bring to the world. I'm bringing love to the world. I want to bring love to the world. I want other people to be free. I want people to be compassionate. I want the world to heal. I want us to take care of Mother Earth. I want us to help her heal, and she will in turn help us heal. So, your purpose is so much more than just a title. It's not a title, it's like who you are, your essence, your values. So, the thing that will bring you the most joy is when you're doing things in alignment with your values. I feel the most good when I'm helping people, when I am being joyous and fun, when I am being loving. That's when I feel the most happy. So yeah, like not much else to say by that. Just discover what your values are and design your life around that. How can I offer that? Or how can I implement that in my business already? So, learning how to use systems to gain freedom. This is powerful. So, I read Tim Ferriss's The 4 Hour Work Week, and I was burnt out at the time. I didn't have a period, and I was like, I don't think I can do the 9 to 5 thing. And anyone, 9 to 5 work week is based off of people with a lot of testosterone in their body because it's high in the morning and it's low at night. So it just works well because they're on the 24-hour sun cycle. People with an infradian rhythm, with a womb, they're people who have different hormones in their body. And we're actually more monthly moon people, 28 days ish. So for me, I was like, I want to be able to work by my period. First of all, I want to get my period back and I want to be able to work with her. I want to flow with my cycle. I want to be connected to the moon. And that's how I built my business at first. Um, and that took a little bit of freedom for me. It took having to build a little bit of passive income so that while when I was menstruating, because when I got my period back, I got diagnosed with endometriosis. Long story longer, it was a lot of suffering. But I was like, I can't work for 2 weeks of a month. So I was like, I still want to make money. So that's where the passive income came for me, was from a chronic illness. And now it comes from being a mother and wanting to be at home with my daughter. So passive income and financial freedom are not greasy terms. You're not selfish or greedy if you want this. You I help a lot of people monthly, weekly, daily by using systems. And I actually help more people than I could if I was doing one-on-one work because I'm getting to show up and be healthy. I'm getting to show up, take care of my family. I'm living aligned. I'm happy. I think sometimes people can think like, oh, this sounds kind of shady. It's not. 100% people with good hearts are doing this. Tons of people are doing it. So you can use the internet to create systems that can help more people with your message. And there's so many ways to do that. I started out by writing ebooks. I would write little tiny ebooks and I would sell them for $22. Amazing. My passive income increased by a couple $100 a month, and that was amazing for me. I was like, this is crazy. At that time period, I was making like probably $8,000 a year. So then I switched to doing kind of like online webinars, master classes kind of things. And my income grew a little bit, and then courses, and then you can do group coaching. There's all sorts of things you can do, but you're just trying to maximize your time. I'm going to sit here in front of my computer, and how can I help the most amount of people? And in the Being Method, we really go through how to structure this if you want to. There's so many different ways to do it. We have lots of questions and answering just to make sure that you're not just copying what I did, and even if it doesn't feel right for you. But there's so many ways to do this. You could even start a product line if you wanted to, but there's so many ways to build passive income, and I support it for anybody always. Yeah, right now I have 3 courses. All of them are built already. I do, a little bit of touch up stuff here and there. I have a couple meetings a month, but for the most part, they're built, they're done, and they're constantly selling. So, every week I get paid, and I get paid really well, which is great. Anyone can do this. Anyone can do it. I promise you. So the 2 courses that I have that can help you develop a spiritual business is the Being Portal and the Being Method. The Being Portal is like a monthly subscription. That's the payment. It's only $22 a month. It's super, super, super accessible. It takes you through a breathwork experience to help you cultivate like, what is my shadow work? How do I build up my self-worth? What am I here to do? What are my values? All these different things help you access your intuition. It's really beautiful. You're doing breath work, you're journaling, you're integrating. And then on top of that, there's workshops that we're running all the time on all sorts of different things. We do sound baths. We've got workshops on love, workshops on money, workshops on career. We just did a workshop on microdosing. So it's a really beautiful community and it's not that much money. You can learn all this stuff, not that much money. It's amazing. The Being Method is kind of the big certification course that I do that really goes deep into how to build your own business, gives you a lot of really practical knowledge in terms of how do I work with people? How do I do this one on one? You understand the foundations of the science behind spirituality. So when you talk to people, you sound very impressive. um, so you're learning anatomy, you're learning the tools to develop your intuition and work with clients, and it helps you build your business or add on to your current business, which is really exciting. And we're adding things to that all the time. Um, yeah, those are my two courses that can help you develop your own spiritual business. And I just want to thank you for your attention. If you made it this far, thanks for listening to me chat. I love talking. I'm a Leo sun and moon. Yeah, I've always wanted to create a webinar just on this because I think it's so important. If you're a person who's kind of grown up thinking like, oh, I'm too artsy or I'm too like wavy or I can't think like that. I'm not a business person. I heard all that stuff. Trust me, I heard I wasn't good with money. I wasn't good at business. I wasn't good at structuring things. I was too la 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 la, which I still am. But you can use systems to your advantage and you can run a spiritual aligned business according to your values and still make really, really, really good money. Um, yeah, it's fun. Design your own life, design your own business, use your intuition. All this stuff is good. I will leave you now that Cappy is barking like a maniac. Love you. And I just want to say, if you did watch this, I wanted to offer you a discount code for both of them. It's going to be in the emails if you sign up. So sign up below and you're going to get discount codes for the Being Portal and the Being Method. If you want to join them, they're really, really fun. You can join at any time and they're completely self-study. So don't worry if you don't have enough time or what, you can just go through the course as you want to. And yeah, if you want to connect, you can always email me or email Cappy. He's clearly very chatty. And thank you so much for watching again. I really appreciate it. Love you.